Yo, what is going on, guys? Max here. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day so far, and welcome back to Knifing Standards and Tips with, of course, your host, xJMx Max. This episode is going to be Call of Duty Black Ops. Alrighty guys, so as always, we're going to go down to start this episode off by creating our class, and I'm just going to show you guys what classes I use, what classes I think are the best for knife feeding in Black Ops 1. And so first off, we're going to start off with knifing, and then also because this is the first Call of Duty that has introduced the ballistic knife or skewer feeding, we are going to also have another class for skewer feeding specifically, but we'll start off with just the normal knifing or tomahawking class. So your primary weapon really does not matter. As long as it's a light weapon, that's all that really matters. I would suggest a submachine gun. I of course have selected the Uzi because someone challenged me that for You Challenge xJMx to hit an Uzi quest. So if you guys want a quest, you can obviously change up the primary or secondary weapon, but we're just going to stick to normal tomahawk, and so I'm just going to give you guys that. Your secondary weapon, of course, the ballistic knife, or if you want to quest with something like I said, you can use something else. Your lethal, obviously the tomahawk, because that's what you're going to be using this class for. Tactical concussion grenade. Equipment, I use tactical insurgent just because I think it's more helpful, or you can use any of the other things. Honestly, it's all personal preference. Personally, I just like the tactical insurgent, but that's just me. Now, your perks are really the only two things that are going to vary between these two classes that I'm showing you guys. Perk 1, you're going to want Scavenger Pro because you're going to be able to pick up those tomahawks, obviously, with Scavenger. Perk 2, you're going to want Warlord Pro. Warlord Pro is actually the only perk that you absolutely need Pro, because if you guys didn't know, that gives you 2 tomahawks and 3 concussion grenades, so you're definitely going to want that. And then perk 3, also, it really helps if you have it Pro, but it's really hard to get Pro too, because you have to play Capture the Flag to get it. Marathon Pro gives you unlimited sprint, so obviously that's going to help you getting around the map and stuff. Now for our second class, it's honestly the exact same thing. This class is for skewer feeding only. Literally the entire class is the same. The only thing that is different is that you're going to want sleight of hand instead of Warlord, because you're going to want to reload those skewers faster. Alright, and now that I've talked about that, we're going to hop into a game, and I'm going to tell you guys about the standards on this game. So as soon as you hop into your first game, you're going to want to choose the classes that we just made, either the knifing class or the skewer class. So overall standards, if you watch the past couple knifing standards and tips, you should have a little bit of a grasp on what standards are now. One thing you guys should really know is that stunning can either make or break a clip, really. Obviously, using stun grenades is going to make it easier for you to get a kill. Like if I stun this guy 3 times with the 3 stun grenades that I have, I'm going to be able to get that kill pretty easily. However, that is going to make the standard and how usable the clip is go down significantly. Now, I'm not saying you can't stun at all. If you pop a stun on 4 enemies and get the kills, obviously the clip is still going to be usable, but if you're sitting there throwing stuns non-stop at these enemies, and then also if you miss ahead of that, doesn't matter if you got a 5-man on screen, it's not going to be usable then. And then depending on the clip, at times if you don't use stuns at all, it could be a good team Taj clip even. So you just got to know when the appropriate time is to throw stuns. If you're behind a bunch of enemies, or if you have the urge to for whatever reason, try to only throw 1, because the more stuns you throw, the less usable it's going to be. Ooh, I got that triple right there. Oh, and there's a 4th right there. But as you guys saw right there, because I was flanking the enemy, I didn't really need to use stuns. And so at times when it's not completely necessary to throw a stun grenade, just don't throw a stun grenade. It'll make the clip look a lot nicer, and you'll be thanking yourself in the long run. Okay, now we're going to talk about the standards for an episode. For your own episode or your own montage, standards should be a quad axe with a 1 miss or less. If you have more than 1 miss, don't use it. There are a lot of xJMx players actually that even if they just have 1 miss in their clip, they won't use it at all. And so definitely try to make sure you're being accurate with your tomahawk, so you don't want to have any misses or anything like that. Now, if you guys don't know, skewer feeding is really hard on this game. I'll explain why in a minute, but just for the sake about talking about standards, if you hit a split quad skewer, but it has to be on screen, just remember that. If you hit a split quad skewer, but you can see all 4 kills on the screen or in the feed, that would definitely be an appropriate clip for your episode. Or if you hit a split multi-kill, even if it wasn't on screen, as long as you got a multi-kill, that would definitely be appropriate as well. And then I've never seen one hit before, but if for whatever reason you got a triple headshot skewer, that would be a team Taj clip. Or if you got a split triple headshot skewer and it was on screen, I would definitely say that would be usable for an F. And now we'll talk about team Taj clips. Obviously, like always, I've repeated this every single episode, but any clip on a larger map that you don't see too many clips on, examples of big maps for BO1 would be like WMD or Crisis. Clips on those larger maps would definitely be good team Taj clips. Also DLC, because you don't see too many DLC clips. guys, you see a good amount of DLC trick shots on BO1, but I can't even remember the last time I saw a BO1 feed on a DLC map. And then of course any 5-man on screen, definitely a team Taj clip, as long as you weren't using too many stuns and you didn't have too many misses. Any quad skewer would definitely be usable as well. Quad skewers are extremely hard to hit on this game, and then I don't even know if it's possible, but if you hit a quad headshot skewer on BO1, that would definitely be a fucking godlike Team Taj clip. Alright, and before we close up this video, I wanted to give you guys 2 tips real quick. This is a skewer feeding tip only, but basically when you're skewer feeding, you can tap X after you shoot to make it reload faster. All it does basically is cancel the animation for after you shoot it, making you reload it faster. Basically, I'll show you guys the normal reload right here. This is the normal reload. See, it takes a little long, but if you press X after you shoot like this, it actually makes you reload it much faster, as you guys saw. And so just make sure you're doing that when you're skewer feeding. It will definitely make things a lot easier for you. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you got something out of this, and hopefully you guys can go out and hit your own BO1 clip. As always, guys, if you did enjoy or if you learned something from this, please make sure to leave a thumbs up because it really does help me out. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Max. Peace.